Hey guys, it is Forge here and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10. So last episode we did some roots magic and we got ourselves this crystal staff with a couple spells on it. Also we went ahead and we went into the Eternal Starlight dimension. We got this petal scythe which I've now enchanted up, as well as this moon ring bow which again I've enchanted up. To get started today I think I want to try and head into a trial chamber. So I've been trading with some villagers and I finally got one that will trade the Trial Explorer map. I hope this is the right one anyway. So let's just trade with this guy and we'll grab that all up. And there are a couple things I'd like to get from this. I'd obviously like to get the mace because it's a really cool new weapon. Also there are a couple upgrades you can get throughout the mod pack, and also there are a couple banner patterns I want to get to try and help me with some building today. So let's grab the map and have a look where we need to go. It looks like we need to go northwest, so I'm going to head off that way. And it seems like I've barely gone anywhere. My base is just back over there and we're already on the map, so this guy is real close. Okay, so I have dug my way down and I've hit some tough, it would seem, so let's go and dig through here and we should be able to find ourselves a trial chamber just through here, and these should activate straight away. And this should be real interesting with my new weapon because this thing does actually shoot projectiles at things as well, so this should make it super duper easy, but this is really slow at spawning stuff. Haha, that was amazing. I love this petal scythe. Okay, we've got our first rewards and it seems we got a potion of mana and bread. Oh, okay, we got ourselves a trial key. I also died, which is really annoying. It seems we actually have 2 trial keys, so let's activate this vault and let's see what we get out of it. We got some uncommon ink, we got an artifact, we got some honey bottles, and it seems we got ourselves an iron chest plate. Not the greatest loot and definitely not what I wanted. Let's try our luck with this second key and see what we get from in here. We got a coral tombstone scroll. Oh, we got one of the trims. That's very cool. Some emeralds, but nothing too great. No mace yet. Oh, this room seems like it's gonna get interesting. This room seems like it's gonna get very interesting. That's a breeze down. And it seems we dropped some more stuff and we got 3 of the keys. That's great. So try number 4, I think this is. So we got some roller skates. We got some more coral tombstone, another smithing template. Not too much great stuff really here. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a trial chamber that goes underwater before. This is very strange. Yeah. Skeletons really hurt. And it's also really hard to tell which one's which because of all these vengeance spirits around. We've got up to 6 keys now and a couple things, as well as a skeleton spawn egg from the capturing enchantment on here. That's awesome. Well, I think I have now fully explored this thing, so I'm just going to open this last vault I have found and see if we get anything good. And then I'm thinking I'm probably just going to do this again with the bad omen effect, and we'll just show the openings if anything good comes out. So let me go ahead and chug this guy down. We've got our first ominous trial key, so let's open this guy up and see what we get. We got a sacrifice scroll, a really cool crossbow from the Iron Spells mod, an enchanted apple, some diamonds, some emeralds, some wind charges, but none of the stuff we needed, unfortunately. There you go. Let's hope we get a heavy core. We got a weapon part from Iron Spells. Well, we got the creator music disc. That's awesome. And a couple of emeralds. So I've got 4 keys now and I'm really struggling to find places to open these vaults, like the actual vaults themselves. And also this one has not been great so far, although we got the flow pattern, which I think is one of the ones we did actually need. So this guy is completely cleared out now. We didn't quite get all the stuff we wanted, but we do actually have some of these keys left over, so we can use them now with occultism, and we can actually use occultism to get more of these keys, and we can use it to get the things we need. So we can get the Gusta banner pattern, and we can also get heavy cores from a slightly more advanced ritual. And I've set down a waystone in case we ever need to come back here, but we can now just teleport back to the base. So I've got the Dictionary of Spirits here, and this is kind of the guidebook for the mod, and I've kind of read through it a fair bit, and we're going to need some of these demon dream fruits to start, and these are real simple to get. Essentially what we need to do is get some of these demon's dream seeds, and these are just dropped like regular seeds from grass. We grow them up and we can get ourselves some of these demon dream fruits when we harvest them. And the first thing we're going to want to do with these demon's dream fruits is actually set them on fire to get ourselves some spirit fire, and we can use this stuff to craft all sorts of different things from the mod. So if I grab myself some saplings and also some andesite. We can throw these on through and we'll get ourselves some other stone from the andesite, and from these we'll get ourselves some sort of special oak saplings, and these basically give the otherworld saplings. And another use of this demon's dream fruit is it gives us the third eye ability. So if I plant this tree down here and then grow it on up, you'll see it'll turn into a regular oak tree. But if we eat this demon's dream fruit, it'll now show as an otherworld tree. So we can break this guy down and actually get the otherworld logs. So now that we can get some of these more basic resources, we can actually start moving towards doing rituals. And today we're going to be performing some of these possession rituals, and we have 3 here for the trial chamber loot, and that's what we're going to be aiming for today. So we have the first one, which I don't think we're actually going to need because it's mainly for getting trial keys and some more of the common loot, which I don't really need. And then we have this middle one here in the chamber, and this gives us the ominous key as well as breeze rods and a couple other things, but we need this guster pattern from this one mainly. And then we have this final one, the glorious vault, and this will give us a wild strong breeze, which will have a chance of dropping a heavy core, or I think maybe 100% chance of dropping a heavy core. I guess we'll find out, but we'll need to get into this one later on. And you'll see up here the actual ritual setup that we're going to need for these, and each one of these looks to be exactly the same. So we need Ossarin's Unbound Calling. So for this one we need to put it down, and we're going to need some of these pink chalks as well as some of these light blue chalks. We're going to need a golden sacrificial bowl, and we'll also need some of these regular sacrificial bowls. To get started getting any of these types of chalks, we actually need the impure white chalk. And to make this guy, we need some otherworld ashes and some burnt otherstone. To get the otherworld ashes, we just chuck the otherworld logs into the spirit fire and it'll give it some of those. And then to get the burnt otherstone, we need to make some polished otherstone, which is just smelting some regular otherstone. So I've started smelting down some otherstone, and we'll throw half of this into here to get us some otherworld ashes. So now that I've got this stuff together, let's make some impure white chalks, and we shouldn't need too many of these. We'll probably just make 3 for now. And to purify these chalks, like we'll do with one of these, you just throw them into the spirit fire and we can make a normal white chalk, which we can now use on the ground to make markings. But it seems we're not going to be able to skip any stages with this mod. To get to some of these more advanced chalks, it seems like we're going to have to start right at the beginning. So we're going to need to get ourselves the basic crusher spirit. So if we go to the summoning rituals, and we're going to need to do this summon Foliot Crusher. So to do this, we're going to need an iron ingot, a silver ingot, a copper ingot, a gold ingot, and a book of binding Foliot. And we're also going to need Aviar's circles. So let's put this down on the ground, and we'll have to set this up here. So we've got the white chalk already. We're going to need to get ourselves some candles and then this sacrificial bowl. So let's start with the sacrificial bowls. These are just some other stone. So we're going to need 5 of these guys to start off with. And then we need to upgrade one of these to the golden sacrificial bowl to go in the middle. And for these candles, we can actually use vanilla candles, but I don't actually have any right now. So we might as well make the occultism ones. So we're going to need to make ourselves some tallow, and this is obtained by killing animals with a butcher knife. So let's make one of those guys up. And there you go. This guy's real simple, just some sticks and iron. So I need to find a pig, cow, or llama or whatever, and I just need to slay it to get its drops. I've got 4 tallow together now, so let's make a large candle, or 4 of these actually to be exact, and we'll put these down now in the candle spots. And then we put the golden sacrificial bowl in the middle, and then just some white chalk in all of these areas here. And that is this circle completely complete. We just need to put some of these sacrificial bowls down, and these can go anywhere within the circle. And I should also mention, if you don't want to be making these chalks constantly, you can put unbreaking and mending on them, so you can completely repair them. So we've nearly got everything together now. We just need to get this book of binding Foliot. So we're going to need some blue dye. We're going to need a taboo book, which is just done by dropping a book in spirit fire. Also an awakened feather and purified ink, which is again just some black dye in the spirit fire, as well as a feather in spirit fire. So let's go ahead and convert all 3 of these, and we should be ready to craft the book of binding like so, although we have no blue dye. So now we can craft the book of binding Foliot. And now to bind it, we just need to craft it together with the dictionary of spirits, and now it is completely bound. And we can put this in the center of our sacrificial bowl, only when we've set up the recipe though, it would seem. So I've got everything in their correct places now. Let's put this in the middle, and this should start the ritual and summon a Foliot Crusher. And there you go, we've got our Foliot Crusher, and his name is Sig Salamarder or whatever. And we can use this guy now if we go shift right click into his inventory to crush certain things down like ores or even stones. And the first thing we're going to need this guy to actually crush is some obsidian for us and also some end stone. So let's get that into him. So we should just place this in here. He'll hold it in his hand and you'll hear him start crushing some stuff down and see some particle effect. And eventually he'll drop it on the ground and you can just pick it up. And while he's just crushing that stuff up, I'm going to make this chalk brush just to remove chalk a little easier. And that's because I don't really want to be, making loads of different rituals around here. So I'm just going to clean up in between each one. And to remove glyphs, we just right click. And now we should have everything together to make the impure purple chalk. And then we throw this into the spirit fire again to purify it. And we need this purple one here to get the Eziphius spectral compulsion circle to go right here. And this is so we can make this research fragment to be able to make the lime chalk. So I've set the circle up now and I've got everything about ready to go. So we're going to make some of this research fragment dust. So we put the emerald dust in there and then 2 bottles of enchanting and then the book of binding foliot, and this one will start. Okay, great. So we've got the research dust now. I'm just working on getting the rest of the stuff together so we can get the impure light grey and the impure lime chalk. And with these ones now we can make the Ophix's calling so we can get the second tier of the crusher, the Ginny crusher. I should have everything now to make these. So for the grey one we need the crushed calcite, which is just done by crushing some calcite in the spirit. We also need some iron dust and some silver dust with an impure white chalk, so let's make one of those up. And now let's make the impure lime chalk up with the research fragment dust we gathered, and now we can just purify both of these guys. So the circle is ready and prepared now, so we just need to get the crushed versions of each of these ingots, and also we need to get ourselves the binding book Ginny. So this is just some purple dye with the same stuff as before, and then again exactly like before, to bind it we just craft it with the dictionary of spirits. And now I've got everything together ready to do the ritual, so we just need to put the book in the middle and it should summon us a Ginny crusher. And these rituals do take quite a while, so I'm wondering if we can use this acceleration spell we made last episode to speed it up. I'm just interested. Yeah, it does seem like it sped up a little bit, although I'm not 100% sure. It could have just been in that phase. It looks like it's working now, guys. I think I cast it right this time. Yeah, it's definitely speeding it up. That is really useful. And we have ourselves a Ginny crusher called Fenvirmorn. I'm really bad at saying these names, aren't I? And also I should mention, this guy will now triple your ore output as opposed to doubling it like this guy. So now it seems like we're getting pretty close to actually getting these guys. So we can actually make this crushed ice now and make this a light blue chalk very easily. But the pink one is going to be a bit more of a challenge as we need to get this demonic meat. And taking a look at this, it looks like we're going to have to do a couple more steps to get this Odysseus open convocation. So we're going to need some orange, some yellow, some green, and I think possibly some other colors for this one. And the yellow one was real easy to make. It's just some gold dust and some glowstone dust. So I've made up one of those and enchanted him all ready to go. But we're also going to need some orange and some impure gray chalks. And I think I should have pretty much everything set up for the gray one. We just need to get this gray paste, which requires us to have Strigior's higher binding, which is what we've got set out here. Then I need to put these items into the sacrificial bowls like so. And we put the Ginny book in the center, and this should give us some gray paste. And now that we got the gray paste, we can combine it to get the impure gray chalk. And it seems like we actually get to keep that. That's real nice. And we can purify this guy up now. And finally, we need to get this orange one, which requires us to get some cursed honey, which means we're going to have to perform a ritual with Irkan's enthrallment. So let me get that all set up now. So I've now got that circle down. So we just need to put in all of the honey related items, and then we put the book in the middle. And now to actually perform this ritual, we need to actually sacrifice a chicken. So if I kill this guy within the circle, it should actually start the ritual. And that has given us a possessed bee. And if we kill this guy now, he should give us at least some possessed. Oh my gosh, I'm under attack from so many bees. Okay, yeah, he gave us the cursed honey, though. I think I need to kill the rest of these guys, though, because these are also possessed bees. And I've got a good amount of this cursed honey now, so we should be able to make some of this impure orange chalk, provided I get some blaze powder and also another impure white chalk. And there's that guy all crafted up. So we should have everything now to do the Odysseus open convocation. So let's summon ourselves a possessed zombie piglin and get some demonic meat. I've almost completed this circle now. I just need some of these spirit attuned crystals, and we get get these using spirit attuned gems, which are just diamonds through this spirit fire. So if I craft these in my 2x2 window, we can craft the spirit attuned crystals, and we can put these down then in these slots here. I'm about ready to perform this ritual. I just need one more thing, and that is the Book of Binding Afrit, and this is just some yellow dye instead of the purple or blue dye. So we just need to put this guy in the middle, and then we need to sacrifice a pig in here, and this should now start the ritual for us. So there you go, that is the ritual completed, and this guy is actually aggressive by default. He's actually pretty powerful. He's got 80 health up there. That's actually kind of crazy. But now he is dead, and we've got ourselves 3 demonic meat, which is the perfect amount to make the pink chalk. So the moment of truth is here. We should be able to make both of the chalks we need. So let's make this impure light blue chalk, which is just all of the crushed ices. And we can also make the impure white chalk like so. Not the white chalk, the pink chalk, sorry. I've got the outline already, so let's start setting this guy up. And we just need these 2 colors by the looks of it. So we just need the light blue and then the pink. And I'll just get all of this ready to go. Well, I've just realized I've completely missed all of these green chalks because I'm doing this on grass and I really couldn't see them. So we need to actually get this guy as well. So to get this, we're going to need to set up the spectral compulsion one. I'm not even going to try and say that again. So I've quickly set up this pentacle over here, and I can't seem to fit this bowl inside, although we need 9 of them, it would seem. So I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, because I always thought these had to be within the center of the outer ring, but I could be wrong. So let's just go ahead and give this a try. Yeah, it seems like it's working. So let's just speed it up. And now we can make the green chalk. So let's purify that guy up. And we can now fill in these gaps, and I'm going to have to be real careful because I can only really tell they're there by the little menu screen at the top. You can barely even see these when they're placed down, wow. But I've got everything set up now, so we should be able to do our first ritual of the trial chamber loot. So let's put this in here. And we will get a wild breeze once this is completed. Oh, we have to actually kill a villager or a player. I didn't actually read that bit. Let me go grab a villager. And luckily I didn't have to go too far for this one because I have a bunch of villagers from the easy villager mod upstairs. So that should start this all off, and it looks like we're going because we have the particles going there, and let's just speed it up. Okay, wow, this has spawned so many mobs. I was not expecting that, but we've got a bunch of wild breezes here. Oh, the strays, the spiders, this is really not good. Oh my gosh, these guys have 150 health. Okay, I've killed all of the strays now. They were really annoying. Now I've got to try and kill this really strong breeze, which I might try and actually capture in here so I can do this somewhere else. Okay, I got him. Right, I may live to regret this because I might die, but I'm going to battle this guy in this tiny room where my bed is, just so he can't run away as much because he is a right pain. And there you go, he is dead, and we got ourselves an ominous trial key, and we also got the breeze rod, but I don't think we actually got what we wanted out of that, did we? Because we wanted the Gusta banner. I am so full of arrows, but I'm going to repeat that a couple more times to try and get the Gusta banner. Well, honestly, it took quite a few tries, and I'm still full of arrows, but we finally got the Gusta pattern. As you can see, I now have 12 of these ominous trial keys. I can't even remember how many I had to start, but it was not that many. So now that we've done that, let's do this wild strong breeze one, and I'm pretty sure now that we're 100% going to get a heavy core, so luckily I won't have to do this a ton of times. So I should have pretty much everything ready to go, so let's put this ominous trial key in the middle, and then we need to sacrifice ourselves a villager, and this will now start the ritual, and we'll just speed it up with the crystal staff. Oh my goodness, oh, there are so many mobs here. Wow, that was an explosion. That is a big slime as well. I'm gonna grab the breeze, then I'm going to take the rest of these guys out, and we'll fight him again in a second. So I've cleaned up all those mobs out there, so let's kill this guy now, and he shouldn't be too hard. He has 300 health though. Okay, he is now dead, and we got ourselves a heavy core, yes, so we can make ourselves a mace. And with that, let's craft ourselves up a mace. We don't have too much use for it right now, but hopefully we'll be able to upgrade it later. And I think that will do us today for occultism. Moving on now, I'd like to do something with this little overhang here, and that something is we're going to be setting up a melon and pumpkin farm here using the create mod. We're over at the workshop now just to get some stuff crafted up, so we're going to need some of these gantry shafts because we're going to to be using one of these gantry carriages. So let's make a couple of those, and then let's make one of these gantry carriages here. And funnily enough, this doesn't take any slime, which I've always found weird because it's sticky. And then we're going to make 3 of these mechanical drills right here, so all 3 of those. And then we're just going to need a couple of these things here, like a portable storage interface, so let's make 2 of those. We'll also need some of these linear chassis, but I'll make those as I need them. And otherwise than that, we probably don't need anything else, so let's head back over. So we'll set the gantry shafts up down here and just bring them all the way down to the end, and then we'll put the gantry carriage down on top, so this will now move along this gantry shaft if we provide it with rotational force. And on this end, we'll just put down some of these redstone contacts, and we're also going to have another one just on this contraption here. So I've got that facing the right way now, so when these two touch now, it'll send a redstone signal, and we're going to be using this to actually have a lever to stop the contraption. And I've added some of these linear chassis now, so let's glue all of this together, although these should actually stick together. And I've also learned you're supposed to put these this way, not the way I've put them in the farm, so I should probably change those over at some point. But now we'll just put some glue on this one, and this one, and this will allow these mechanical drills to stick to these, and we don't actually need to glue them on. And now we just need to add the storage capability, so we'll put one of these portable interfaces, and that is facing it the wrong way. Let's put it going this way, and we'll have a spruce barrel on here, and then we'll just have these input into the building here. So we'll just put a portable storage interface right there. And I've run some shafts down now from this chain conveyor, so we've got rotational force over here, so we can now just connect this up and it'll start spinning this, and now this will move down this way. But the thing is, it won't actually send it back, and that's what we're going to be using these redstone contacts for, as well as stopping it. So if I remove these 2 shafts here, we'll firstly put in a gear shift, and then we're going to have a clutch. So we've used one of these before over in the workshop. This just allows us to turn the rotational force off. And then we also have this gear shift, which when provided a redstone signal will actually change the direction of the rotational force. And now I've done a bit of work, so I've got this thing so it'll loop back and forth just with a simple little circuit here. So we're using this exposed copper bulb to toggle between 2 different states, and then reading out this redstone comparator to change the state of the gear shift based on whether it touches this redstone contact over here or the one that's over here. And then these cog blocks send the power down here and then into this redstone link in this case, and this redstone link just connects over here. So if we now connect him on up, he will send the power to here, and now it'll start coming this direction. And then as soon as it hits this one over here, it's going to go ahead and send it back on over to that way. And I completely forgot, as we're going to be sending this thing backwards, we need to put on some mechanical drills to the back. So next what I want to do is have it so this thing turns off, probably with a lever that's going to go right here. But the thing I want to make sure is it's actually in this state over here. So I need to have an AND gate to make sure this lever is on, and also this is connected over here. And this is pretty simple to do. We just need this 2 input AND gate here. So this requires 2 signals to send one into this clutch here. So we have the redstone link here that we're using over there, and this is just powering this side because this just makes sure it's connected to the detector over there. And then we just run a redstone signal over on from this lever, and then if we turn this off, it'll stop the rotational force coming through this whole thing. So I should now have this thing all set up. So if I flick this lever, it'll just go back and forth, and as soon as I flick this lever again, it shouldn't stop over here. It should go all the way back over there and then stop, and we should see it stopping over here right now. There you go. That is great. Unfortunately, you can see some of the inner workings here because you can't cover up this level here because this is where the gantry carriage goes along. So if anyone knows any blocks or anything that could go in this space here, that would be greatly appreciated if you could let me know. Just something that'll look like grass or something, just so I can cover it up, but the gantry carriage can still go through. And now I've planted all the melons and pumpkins down. Well, I didn't quite have enough melons, so I need 3 more melon seeds to complete this, but everything is looking pretty good here, and we got some water with some extra lighting down here. These frame slabs are amazing. You put glowstone into them and they emit light. So now that we've got the mechanism all set up, we need to do the item extraction. So I've run some of the rotational force up to here, and if we head on inside through here, you'll see we've got this now spinning. So we're going to set up some shafts, and then we're going to have the mechanical belt pulling out of there, and these will just pull out of here straight with a brass funnel, and it'll just pull a stack at a time, and this will all just go into a barrel. But we're going to have a modular router underneath this barrel that is pulling directly out of this barrel straight away, and then we're going to use a sender module to send up to this ender chest over here. So I should have that all set up now. We've got the sender module ready to send up there. Also, we've got this thing camouflaged, muffled, and we've also got some speed and stack upgrades in here, and we've got the andesite funnel going into the barrel. So now that I've sorted extracting the items, and I've also added a place in the drawers for the items to go, so the the melons and pumpkins, we can now just turn this guy on and see it harvest some melons and pumpkins. And you'll see it's harvesting this first one here. And hopefully as it goes along, it should connect up to this portable storage and send all the items inside. So I think this thing is working pretty great. And as you can see, there are some items being transferred now. So I'd say that's a project well completed. Oop, and that does damage to me. So I think that should do it for today. I know I said we're going to be doing a build at some point, but I think we'll get around to that next episode because we've just run out of time. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.